MashaAllah, Sheikh Hussein.
Yes.
So we're all fed and watered, brothers and sisters. Now this is a clear, inshallah, concise demonstration, bi'idhnillah, of the Eid Salah to be performed at home with the family. So Sheikh, I'll be at this end, obviously. You're the Imam.
Yep.
Bismillah.
So this is an opportunity for the fathers to be like, Sheikh Sudais in the Haram.
Allahu
his
Akbar.
family, stow,
Allahu
i'tadilu, straight in the rows, fill the gaps.
Allahu Akbar.
Exactly.
Do we take the shoes off? Do we not?
If we're praying outside, Sheikh,
If you're outside, you can wear your shoes, no problem.
should we check the ground before we pray for anything at all?
If you're praying on like natural ground outside, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just to make sure. If you're in your own garden, you know what's there, then there's not a problem.
Yeah,
really.
Inshallah.
But if you feel you want to kind of pray on a mat at home or outside, then, no problem.
I can imagine someone right now, Sheikh, they go out there, they've set up the area to pray, and they see bird poo. And they might say, oh, well, can't pray here.
Right.
Is that correct, Sheikh?
Yeah, so you can just clean the area, actually.
There you go.
You just clean the area and then you'll be all right.
Sorry, I'm going to do this throughout if you don't
That's
mind.
all right, that's all right. No, you do that.
Just a disclaimer, if you do decide to pray outside by staying safe with the social distancing. So we go straight into it,
So let's
Sheikh.
get that social distance going on here, bruv.
Right.
Jazakallah khair.
Right, so I'm going to be in shot a little while because I'm standing a bit out of the way. So I'm going to take my shoes off for this one, right? But you can stay, social distancing. Yes.
There we go.
Right, so because there's three of us, I will stand at the front and then you two will pray behind, okay? If, however, for example, let's say there's a mother and a father and one of the children, for example. So if it's a son, then the son would stand next to the dad and the mum would be behind like that, okay?
So let's say for argument's sake, I could be the mother, because I don't know.
Yeah,
So I'm the mum.
Yeah.
So the son would pray out the front with the
Yeah, he would
father.
be on my right-hand side.
So you go on the right-hand side.
Okay, so this is clear, inshallah ta'ala. So I would be standing here leading the prayer, you would be there, and then the mum.
And any other females would be behind.
And any other females that were there, if there's just two males.
Cool.
Right? So yeah, you can go back for that position. So what we're going to do now is just briefly describe the salah. Okay, because sometimes, we just pray Salat al-Eid twice, don't you? And it's something that's not done very often. And then people forget, how do I do it again? Because you just go to the masjid and you follow, and then you leave. But once you do it yourself, there's a great responsibility.
Yeah.
Right. So Salat al-Eid can be offered after the sunrise by about 20 minutes. Okay, in your timetables, you'll see Fajr and then you'll see sunrise time. Wait about 20 minutes. That's the starting time for Salat al-Eid, inshallah ta'ala. If you want to delay that a little bit by an hour, because at the moment in the summertime, or coming to the summer, it's a little bit early. You want to pray at 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30, 9 in the morning. You're entitled to do that. In fact, you have all the way up to, let's say, 20 minutes before Salat al-Dhuhr. So you choose a good time. Earlier the better, because it's closer to the Sunnah, but of course reasonable. So after you've done that, then the person who's going to lead the Salah, you all face Qibla, right? So then you start the Salah. Now, what I'm going to do now, it's simply just 2 rak'ah. 2 rak'ah. But there's one slight difference in each rak'ah. So what I'm going to do, we start the salah, you face Qibla, and you raise your hands, you say, Allahu Akbar. Okay? After you said the first rak'ah, the first takbir, which is the entering of the salah, you will now say the dua al-istiftah, which is the dua that you say at the beginning of every prayer. Okay? So, Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka asmuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruk. That's one of the du'as that you can make. Right? So you say that quietly. And now what we're going to do, we're going to follow this up with 6 extra takbirat. Okay, so you go, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
You got the option of raising your hands or keeping your hands on your chest. Okay, both are correct, inshallah, whatever you follow. So that's the second one. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Right, so that is 7 takbirat. Okay?
First initial and 6 following.
You can do, yes, first one and then 6 following, or you can do one at the beginning and 7 following. So after the first one, don't forget you do the dua and you say it quietly, and then you say the takbirat, 6 or 7. Then after that you say, and I'm saying this of course audibly so you can hear, but you say it quietly, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim, and then you recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, until the end of the Surah Al-Fatiha. Once you've recited Surah Al-Fatiha, if you've memorized it, you recite Surah Al-A'la. And that is سَبِّحِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ الْأَعْلَى الَّذِي خَلَقَ فَسَوَّى. And then you recite to the end of this chapter. Once you've done that, you say Allahu Akbar, and then that's where you're going to ruku'. And as you would normally say in ruku', Subhana Rabbil Azim, Subhana Rabbil Azim, Subhana Rabbil Azim. And as you're coming up, you say Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbana laka alhamd.
Now, can someone behind say that aloud?
So those who are following don't say Sami Allahu liman hamida. They just come up quietly, and when they're standing, that's when they say Rabbana laka alhamd.
So it's safe there's a big family gathering.
Yeah.
For some reason there's an unusually huge family, 20, live in this one house.
Okay.
Like the old lady who lived in a shoe.
Right.
And they've got a lot of family there. If there's trouble hearing, can someone repeat the takbirat after?
Yeah, you choose one person behind, if it's that big, mashallah. Then you can designate one person maybe in the second row, so they can relay the takbir, so everybody's following the prayer.
Gotcha.
That's absolutely fine, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? So after we've gone in, we've come up from ruku', and remember, you say Sami Allahu liman hamdah as you come out, they say Rabbana lakal hamd, and then you go into sujood. Okay, we'll go to sujood, inshallah, so we'll complete it. So then we go into sujood, say Allahu Akbar. And of course in sujood, you say Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. And then you come and say Allahu Akbar. And while in a sitting position, you say Rabbi ghfirli, Rabbi ghfirli. And then you go down again, Allahu Akbar. Then again, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. And then you come up, Allahu Akbar, until you're in a standing position again. Now, in this standing position, remember in the first rak'ah, we said 7 takbirat. As you're now standing in the second, you now say 5. So, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And then again, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, and you recite Surah Al-Fatiha as usual. Then after that, if you've memorized it, you recite هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة, and then you recite to the end of that surah. Then after that, you say Allahu Akbar, and you go into ruku'. So you're just praying a normal 2 rak'ah. And then again in ruku', you say Subhana Rabbil Azim, Subhana Rabbil Azim, Subhana Rabbil Azim. Coming up, Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbana lakal hamd. I understand that you don't always have to raise your hands. No. There is other schools of thought that you're not going to raise your hands. You only do it at the beginning. That's absolutely fine, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? After you come up, then you go down into sujood once again. Allahu Akbar.
Oh, here we go.
And again, while in sujood, you say Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. Then you come up, Allahu Akbar. Again, Rabbi ghfirli, Rabbi ghfirli. And then you go down again, Allahu Akbar. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. And then you come up at the end of the second rak'ah, Allahu Akbar. And this is again when you say At-Tashahhud, At-Tahiyyatu lillahi was-salawatu wat-tayyibatu. And then you say that to the end of the tashahhud. After you've said that, and then you say Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallayta ala Ibrahim. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Then you say the dua, the darood, it is known as the darood or the dua Ibrahimiyya. And then thirdly, you seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from 4 things. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min adhab al-qabr wa a'udhu bika min fitnat al-nar, or Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-nar. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min fitnat al-mahya'i wal-mamat wa min fitnat al-masih al-dajjal. And then if you want to say another couple of du'as, you're free to do that. And then you finish the salah by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
There you go.
Now, I just want to mention an important thing that I've described. Maybe a lot of masajid, they pray Salat al-Eid like this. Yeah. But you should also know there's a slightly different way, according to other madhahib, how you'll pray Salat al-Eid. And you're perfectly entitled to follow your madhab.
Yeah.
And in fact, I encourage that.
This is more for those people who don't know anything about how to pray Eid, and we've just given them an example.
Yeah, this is like, if you like the main schools, the majority of schools of thought, like the Hanbalis and Shafi'is and Malikis would pray pretty much like that. was the Ahnaf would pray a little bit different. So essentially, it's again same
Sheikh.
2 rak'ah. We'll sit down, inshallah. Yeah.
So we have the Eid prayer demonstration. As the Sheikh mentioned, we have the first rak'ah, we have the opening takbir, and the dua of istiftah, the one everyone says quietly. And you do 6 times takbirat. And then you would read Surah Fatiha and Surah Al-A'la if you've memorized that. If you haven't, as the Sheikh said, you can read whichever other surah. And then you go into ruku' normally, you go into the 2 sujood, and you come back to the second rak'ah of the Eid prayer. This time round is the 5 takbirat, and then you go read Surah Fatiha and another surah, Surah Al-Ghashiyah, if you've memorized that. If you haven't, you read another surah, and then you finish your prayer as you normally would do. I have a question, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers might be wondering this as well, and the Sheikh could ask. Sheikh, when you come back from the second rak'ah, so when you're in sujood, from the first rak'ah to start the second rak'ah, you say Allahu Akbar to stand up. Is the 5 takbirat including that Allahu Akbar coming up from sujood in the first rak'ah, or do you say that and then add 5 other takbirat?
Right. So when you've finished the second prostration and then you say Allahu Akbar to come up, that's not part of the 5.
That's not part of the 5.
So that's the Allahu Akbar for the movement part. Then once you're standing up straight, that's when you'll say another 5 takbirat, and then you'll recite Surah
Fatiha.
Al-Fatiha.
Jazakumullah khair, Jazakallah khair, ya Sheikh.
I just want to mention, if it's okay, the other way briefly of praying Salatul Eid, and that is, it is not said with 7 in the first or 5 in the second. So instead, what they will do is that there are 3 takbirat. So there is Allahu Akbar to begin, and then there is 3. So technically, if you want to say 4, including the opening takbir, okay? So Allahu Akbar, and then there's 3 more. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Then Surah Al-Fatiha, a surah, and then you go into ruku' and sujood, you finish that. Then you come up for the second rak'ah. As you come up for the second rak'ah, that's when you don't recite any takbirat at the beginning. You just recite Surah Al-Fatiha, another surah. Then before you go into ruku', that's when you say 3 more. Before you go into ruku', you say 3 more.
Takbirat.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
So you've come up for the second rak'ah, you don't say any extra takbirat, you recite Fatiha, then a surah. Before you go into ruku', after you finish that surah, you say 3 takbirat. After you've done that, then you say Allahu Akbar to go into ruku', and then you finish it.
Subhanallah.
That's also another way
Another
of praying
variation.
Salatul Eid, inshallah ta'ala.
Subhanallah. Jazakallah khair, ya Sheikh.